We are Cam and Heather on Sea Clef, and we are on the trip of a lifetime. Come share in our adventures as we take you through the Great Lakes to Chicago, down through the river system of the Midwest, along the panhandle of Florida, across the Gulf of Mexico, and down the west side of Florida, crossing through the Okeechobee Waterway to eastern Florida. Then share in our adventures as we continue throughout the Bahamas and back up the eastern seaboard, finally returning to Canada on America's Great Loop. Welcome to Sea Clef's final video in our Great Loop series. If this is the first video you've seen of ours, please check out our YouTube channel for close to 100 videos about our boat, getting ready for our Great Loop, and more importantly, our loop itself.
We are leaving Nassau today, just passing the cruise ships, as you might have noticed.
Bravo Eugenia.
What's Bravo?
Dallas guy. Dallas Cowboy.
All right, I'll go get that. Bravo Eugenia is a personal yacht owned by the owner of the Dallas Cowboy. We saw that in Mobile, Alabama as well. By Atlantis, we had fun. Yes, there it is, Atlantis. They had a Lizzo concert there last night. We thought we'd be able to hear it across water, but we didn't. It's fine. And here we go. That's the exit. They wanted us to kind of hurry out of here because they said there is a cruise ship coming in Silhouette. And I looked on AIS just a little while ago and saw the 4 boats already exited the harbor that we're traveling with today. We're just running a little behind them.
After a wonderful stay at the Atlantis Marina, we relocated to the less expensive Nassau Harbour Marina, where we waited for a weather window to head north toward the Berry Islands. We hoped to either anchor out or grab a slip again at Chub Cay Marina. Our travels to Chub Cay were 39.6 nautical miles and took us just under 5 hours to complete. During the first part of our trip, we ran more quickly to catch up to our group of boaters. But once we had caught up, we slowed down to match their speed. Our boat seems to ride well in the larger swells at a slower speed when we are in following seas. Good afternoon from Sea Clef. It's 12:01, so I'm bang on with my afternoon numbers or time. We are underway from Nassau, Bahamas to Chub Cay, Bahamas. We're probably in 3 to 4 footers, mostly from the stern, but it's a bit muddled out here, so we're seeing a little bit of wibbly wobbly, but we're going at 7 or 8 knots and the boat's handling fairly well. Heather is down there.
In my comfy spot.
She's in her comfy spot.
But I've actually keep feeling like I'm going to fall asleep today. I'm enjoying the whole gentle rolling.
I'm not sure if you heard that, but she is feeling like she is enjoying a gentle roll and might even fall asleep. Isn't that a good sign? So we're, I don't know, about halfway, a little more than halfway, I guess, between Nassau and Chub Cay. Yeah, we'll be there by 2 o'clock if you look at our direction of travel. We started out over here and we're going over there. We're making some progress.
Good afternoon. We have probably less than an hour and a half left. Not sure if you can see, there's land in sight. That's Chub Cay. And one of our travel baits is right in front of us. I think that's Island Time. The rest we've been slowly catching up on and passing. So they're all off to our port. We have True North. And the second one back is Red Rover. And then the last one is wishy-washy ride.
We haven't decided where we're going to go tomorrow, whether we're going to go to Bimini or whether we're going to go to Freeport. But my guess is that we will go to Bimini, and then Tuesday is a possible crossing over to Florida, and so
Honestly, we gotta just take it one day at a time.
yeah, Heather's saying we take it one day at a time. If the crossing looks good, then we continue, and if it doesn't look good, we'll sit tight.
After another enjoyable stay at Chub Cay Marina, we made some changes to our initial plans to head for Bimini. Instead, we made our way partway across the Bahama Bank before heading on a more northerly bound route that would take us to West End, Bahamas.
Good morning. We are leaving Chub Cay. We spent 2 nights here after crossing from Nassau, and our buddy boats left yesterday for Bimini. Our plan this morning was to head to Bimini, and we would cross back to Florida from there. Suddenly this morning, Cam was thinking that if it's such a good travel day, why aren't we going to West End? We would arrive back in Florida further north, which would be beneficial, and it's only about 15 nautical miles further than going to Bimini. So, all that is to say is that I don't know where we are going yet today.
This portion of our trip was very long, and it was a very lonely run across some very big water. Our travels from Chub Cay to West End were 105.2 nautical miles, which we did mostly at speed, and it took us a little over 9 hours. Our average speed today was 11.3 knots.
Good morning again. So I think we have made the decision to go to West End, because even though we haven't been able to reach them yet, because it's about 15 minutes since my last video, and which means it's like 7:30 in the morning, and everybody's leaving today because it's a really good crossing day to get back to Florida, so it's very likely that they'll have space for us. So I am on watch right now. I'm on the helm while Cam is having his breakfast. He made pancakes yesterday, very yummy. And so there's leftovers, and we have hard-boiled eggs. So we're just taking turns eating our sticky breakfast downstairs. And then we'll probably pick up the pace a bit. Just give you a view. It's pretty good traveling. Oh, looks like it's my turn for breakfast.
Good morning from the bridge of Sea Clef on March 28th. I think so.
Yeah,
March 28th. We left Chub Cay this morning at 7 a.m. and are underway for West End, which is on the top end of the Abacos or Grand Bahama. That'll be our jumping off point for going back to Florida. We had planned to be going to Bimini, but we feel that the wind and the waves favored a north-northwest run versus a west run. And going to West End means that we can get further north in Florida on our crossing, which is appealing to us because we were not all that fond of South Florida. It's just very, very busy. There are lots and lots of bridges and not very many anchorages.
And a ton of manatee zones.
Yeah, very, very slow zones throughout. But there's also not a lot of marinas. So it's just hard to find places to stay whether it be Anchorage or Marina. And so by jumping off from West End, sort of the southernmost point we would pick would be West Palm, which is almost a straight line, but we could perceivably go as north as Port St. Lucie, presuming that we have the right crossing conditions.
We'll see when that comes. We
Yeah.
have really, really good conditions. We're on the Grand Banks, Bahama Banks, what is it?
The Grand Bahama Bank.
Grand Bahama Banks. Just put them together and you get it right. And I mean, I thought it was good before we got on the Grand Bahama Bank, but it's smoothing out. It's very comfortable. We could probably just as easily go to Bimini. But we are adding how many?
We're adding 15 miles to our trip today by going to West End instead of Bimini, but it'll cut many miles off of our run inside Florida in the ICW of areas that we've already traversed, because we came down from Stewart to Miami already, so we don't really want to see that part again.
Somebody asked me if we had left from Miami and got back to Florida and Stewart, would that mean that we didn't actually do the loop because we missed all the spots in between? But no, because it's still a loop coming out of the Bahamas. Plus, we've already done all that.
We have. All right.
We are going to have to go fast. Otherwise, we're not going to get there until
Till
almost 8 p.m.
7:40 tonight. But yeah, I think we'll. Our next waypoint's about 2.5 miles away, and once we hit that waypoint, we'll be out of the shallows of the bank, and it'll still be not super deep, but it won't be 10 feet deep or 8 feet deep. And then eventually we'll actually get off the bank and get back into deep water again. But I can't turn it unless I stop it and start. Okay. So turning the camera around to have a look at our surroundings, you can see the color of the water is indicative of, shallow water. We're in 14 feet of water right now, 14 or 15 feet. This is where we are on our chart so far. We started in Chub Cay, which is over here, and we are going to West End, which is, oh boy, is it ever a long way, but there's where we're going, to West End.
Our crossing of the bank was lovely, and we enjoyed relatively calm seas. Unfortunately, the further north we got, the rougher it seemed to get. We did not enjoy the last couple of hours of our travels and had considered aborting to Freeport, but ultimately decided to stick it out. The waves did become too much for the autopilot, and I wound up taking the helm for the last hour or so of the trip to navigate the waves.
This is our 11 o'clock, our 11:15 update. We are coming up toward a boat on the horizon, way up there. We actually haven't had any traffic for a while. It's been pretty empty. Got the ocean to ourselves. There is actually no land in sight right now either. We've been going at speed, I don't know, probably about an hour, maybe a little bit less. So our ETA is showing just after 3 o'clock right now. The rest of the horizon, land. Anyway, unfortunately, when we go fast, we seem to have this little problem that there's some water leaking in, and I think we felt like we had found the source of it, and I just went downstairs and found some wetness. Less than we found in the past, but we've got another almost 4 hours to go like this, so it could get pretty wet. We're a little frustrated, and I think Cam's downstairs seeing if he can figure out where the heck it's coming from.
The windows are dry, This is where the conduit comes down that is somehow getting water in it. But we're not seeing a lot of splash, and the gunnels are dry, which means that the water's coming from somewhere below the gunnels, but above the floor, somewhere along here. An update from the bridge. We are, we've probably done about 75 of our 100 nautical miles. The bank, the Bahama bank was beautiful. We can almost count starfish, but it's a little choppy. But the further north we've gotten, the waves are quite a bit worse. And so we're getting thrown around a little bit. It's a little tiring. 24 miles left to go. It's not too bad though.
It's 1:30, so we are 6.5 hours into it. I'm down here because it's just a bit too swingy. It's hard to move around or stay still on the boat right now. And there's a lot of sun on, or there was a lot of sun on my chair earlier.
Greetings from the bridge of Sea Clef.
It is 2:30.
2:30, we're tired. We're getting thrown around a lot, but we're going to be there in an hour or so. And the waves are just, trying to give us their best kick in the teeth before we get in for the day. But we're just about there.
I think we figured out where the water is coming from. I think it's coming in the laundry vent. And
The dryer vent.
dryer vent. And there's a fair bit of water downstairs now, soaking into our freshly cleaned carpets. That kind of sucks. So as soon as we get there,
We're going to suck.
yeah, we're gonna suck. We're gonna pull out the trunk back and
Do some vacuum.
suck it all up, and then dive in with salt water.
And I'm going to take the vent apart and get some silicone in there. And maybe strategize relocating it.
Anyway, that's our day. Can't wait to be there.
So this is a shot. You can see Freeport is over here, and we're going up the coast toward north of Freeport. This is our destination up here, and so we've got 23.9 miles to go to our next waypoint, and our next waypoint is pretty well at the entrance to the harbor.
The horizon is very unstable in this portion of the video as we faced some rougher seas, but eventually it smoothed out as we made our final approach to and entered the safety and comfort of West End, where we fueled up before heading to our slip. Ironically, while fueling, several vessels entered the harbor, but we only saw one boat on our entire crossing to West End. We had an enjoyable wait in West End, watching for the ideal day to cross the Gulf Stream and head back to Florida to begin our trip north.
We have a guest who's taking a drink from the water from our engine flush. We have to flush the salt water out of the engine, so you run the water for 15 or 20 minutes to flush it out. And we've got a couple of manatees here. There's one over here, and the one over here taking a drink. You're really not supposed to give them water. Certainly in Florida, you're not allowed. I don't know what the rules are here in Bahamas, but were just doing freshwater flush, and they sort of took the opportunity, I guess.
I think he's coming back for more water. He or she. I've never seen the other one go for it, just this one.
We are at the most western and northern tip of Grand Bahamas. There's a boat going out. I mean, there's a couple little islands out there. There and there. So, maybe not much more than. Waiting to cross, hoping to do it tomorrow or the next day. Both have said it was pretty bangy out there today. A couple people came back, so we're glad we decided not to go today.
Our final leg of our Bahamas adventure took us on a 57.8 nautical mile journey from West End, Bahamas to West Palm Beach, Florida.
Good morning from the bridge of Sea Clef. We are at West End, Bahamas, and today is a significant day because it is the end of the next segment of our Great Loop. We left for Bahamas in late January from Miami over to Bimini, crossed through various points in the Bahamas, and made it up to West End last week. Today appears to be a beautiful travel day, and so we are making a crossing from West End to Lake Worth, Florida, which ends our Bahamas portion of the trip. And of course, we've already done the Great Lakes, we've done the rivers, we've done the Panhandle, we've done the GICW, the Okeechobee Waterway, we did the AICW from Stewart down to Miami, but now we're actually going home. We're on our way home. We're on the return portion of our trip, and the next segment of the next, I guess, big milestone for us will be Norfolk, Virginia, which is about 1,000 nautical miles north of our position once we're in Florida.
As we neared the end of our travels in the Bahamas, a wave of nostalgia washed over us. The dream of taking our boat on this incredible journey had been a long-held aspiration, and now it was coming to a close. Yet the memories we've created will remain etched in our hearts forever. The azure waters, the gentle sway of the boat, or sometimes not so gentle, and the breathtaking sunsets will always be a part of us. Perhaps one day we'll embark on another voyage to the Bahamas, reliving the magic and creating new memories. We have finished not just our Bahamas videos, but all of our loop videos as well. Consider subscribing to our channel to watch any of the almost 100 videos of the travels of Sea Clef on America's Great Loop.